Hi, welcome to another video. Today's video is actually going to be born out of necessity. It's not one that I'd planned, specifically to do. No tutorial, no do this, do that. I've got to take my car to get the brakes fixed. Which means a 3-mile walk back from one village to my village, because, when you're out in the sticks. So anyway, taking the car for the brakes to be fixed, which is fine because I can still use them. As you can see, I'm driving. But with the walk back, the sun is going to be behind me. Got all this wonderful countryside, and it's a little bit like, shall I do a see beauty in everything? Because I'm going to see some wonderful things, and as always, it's a case of, I wish I had my camera with me. But I'm not going to have my tripod because I'm not lugging the tripod 3 miles because it's quite a heavy one, my Coleman. So we'll drop the car off here, we'll trek back up this hill, get into the woods, and then just see what we can see. Go. So we're going to ride Shanks and Pony, aren't we? See if we can see some nice things. Let me get all my gear together and we'll continue in a moment. So yeah, find beauty in everything. No tripod, just the camera, bit of walking. I've got some wonderful countryside, and because the sky is potted with clouds and I've got this countryside, when you get the washes of light coming over, it should give me some nice landscape shots. I've got a 3-mile walk. I'm not going to talk you through the 3 miles. You'll be bored and I'll be worn out. So I'm going to walk up this hill, which is the first mile, into the woods, and then we'll start looking for nice things to take photographs of. Yay, I'm off the main road onto a bridleway, which is great because no traffic, no noise. And I see this straight away. It's wonderful. I have to do live views because I don't have my tripod for you, do I? But I've got this lovely vista. So the rolling hills, and it's just wonderful. And as I come around here, let's give it an 18mm so you can see all the sky. So I'll get a shot out of that at least, won't I? Very much a case of see beauty in everything. I'm going to see plants. It's a beautiful English sunny morning. I should have left the gilet in the car. It's actually quite warm. But yeah, light streaming through, that kind of thing. I'll probably see some horses. I'll take some pictures of horses as I go along. But because I've got no tripod, I'm going to try my best to keep it either in aperture mode, stick it on f11. I've got ISO fixed at 100. Let's turn the auto ISO off. Then that will dictate my speed. And it's roughly a 50th. I'm looking here, f11, I've got a 60th of a second. I can do all of that in handheld, can't I? So it's really just about finding a composition, shooting, and taking some shots. Just lovely. And I've got the polarizer on, but that doesn't help with my polarized glasses. It's almost like a negative. Does that make sense? They cancel each other out. Yeah, I don't want the fencing. Just some rolling countryside. A little 2-shot panel there. And then I'll try and get this with the wash. The way the clouds are hiding the sun, you get black splotches over the black shadows. See that? Black shadows moving across the field. Wonderful. Yeah, see beauty in everything. That's the answer. A little farm scene. Right, a couple of landscapes for you there. Let's walk on. You can look at the pictures while I walk on. So when you actually don't have a plan and you just decide to do some photography, you're walking out, you come upon some wonderful sights. I've got a rather, I don't even know what these plants are. Forgive me for picking one. I'll bring it to the camera. What is that? Is it focusing on it? But it's beautiful. We've got the light coming through, streaming through the tree there. All these little purple flowers and the tall trees. Yeah, we like tall trees, don't we? I think I can get something out of this. I love the wash of the purple and that light streaming through. Perhaps enhance the colours in post-processing to really, yeah, that'll work. That's nice. And it came out quite nice. Yeah, so not having a kind of a method or a mode of what I want to do, what photographs to take, just getting out the camera. And I thought to myself, I've got to take the car down to get the MOT done. I might as well take the camera back on the walk back, because that's always what I talk about. Sometimes you're out, you're just doing a stroll, and you see something, you think, oh, if only I had my camera. So it's no big deal, just, you know, carry it on the shoulder. Okay, I've got my recording gear, but, you know, I can work with that. It's only a little narrow tripod. So have a look at that picture there. I'm sure I'll see the next one pretty soon. Would you look at that? Isn't that kind of ethereal and magical? Is that the word? I don't think so. But the trees and the footpath, so typically English. And now I've got the sun coming through. Yeah, look at that. I think I'll get a couple of shots here, won't I? I'm going to do a 140. Nah, pull it back. Where are we? I can't tell on the lens. Oh, that was too dark. I didn't think of my settings there. So I'm going to have to open up the aperture because it wanted... so exposure compensation, no. It's all in the learning. I'm going to have to bump my ISO up because it's too dark. There we go. ISO 800. Oh my word. But it gives me a 30th of a second and I can focus in. I have, what do you call it? Vibration reduction. So if anything, yeah, 3 shots. The first one was utter nonsense because I was not considering the light option. So there I was thinking, I'm just going to go into ISO 100 and just play around with the f-stop and the speed, and I just couldn't get it to the point where, because I'm handhold, I need a 30th of a second at the least before I get sort of lens blur. However, just to bump the ISO up, right? It's a funny thing because I was thinking about my channel and kind of the videos that I put out and thinking to myself, is it an educational channel? You know, I started watching YouTube so that I could learn how to use my camera, and still many of those channels that I follow are giving hints and tips, and it's great because, you know, we always want hints and tips, but the more you just go out with your camera, you learn. And just as I did there, I realized, okay, I'm in a situation where it's too dark, but I'm handheld, so I haven't got my tripod. What am I going to do? I've got 3 factors. I've got my aperture, I've got my speed, and I've got the ISO. So I'd regulated the ISO, I'd regulated the aperture, and I'd opened it as much as I could, but I still couldn't get the speed. The only thing left was to push the ISO to a high number. So I'm thinking my channel still gives hints and tips, but it's more like a day in the life of a photographer, you know, because we go out, we take our shots, we see things, and it's all good. So I'm coming out of the bridleway now onto this road. Oh, look at this landscape, isn't that wonderful? I love that tree, and there's a dead tree in the distance there. If I could compose something just from here, remembering that I have got ISO at 800 as before, so I've got to drop that down. So back to ISO 100, get my f-stop to f10 once a 40th of a second. So that's already good. Country lane with trees. Now I don't particularly like all these overhead cables. I don't know if you can see it in the shot, but there's crossing all over the place. So that's where I have my easy for me to say, right? Post-processing, and I can just clone out the cables and the wires. I don't want the farmhouse, so yeah, just a nice, let's move that polarizer, brighten it up a little bit. Country lane shot. Let's drop the exposure compensation by 2 steps, that's better. It darkens it up a little bit. So I'll give you those 2 shots, and I'm just going to carry on my walk. I don't know, I might get home before I do any more, but if I see something, we stop and take a picture. I knew there would be horses. We're in horse country, aren't we? They're all just standing around. One of them's having a feed over there. Lovely. So a couple of horsey shots and I shall continue on. I think one of the beauties that I find with rolling countryside, especially when it's farmland, you get lines. Look at the lines for the tractors. And this almost has a feel of a Microsoft Windows wallpaper, doesn't it? So a couple of shots here, I think. What can I do with this? That's nice. Like that. Like that, and then I'll panorize it. Panorize? Panorama. 1, 2, 3. Look at that rolling countryside. So I've taken 4. Now I took 5 shots there, but actually I might only use 3. The first 3, the middle 3, the last 3. That's the beauty of doing composition, isn't it? You see things that strike your eye. So, what shall I think about doing? Do I end the video here? Has it already gone on too long? Or do I just, yeah, if I end the video, then I can, any other pictures I take on my walk, I can focus on getting back to work. Isn't work a pain, you know? Oh, to have a life where you're just taking photographs and, you know, doing your thing. Maybe that'll happen one day. I won the lottery last night, by the way. All £30 on it. The wrong numbers came up. Just when you see it, the sun washing down over the field with the horses. I've got these little white flowers in the foreground. So I'm going to make my way home. I'll give you a gallery now of anything that I've taken up to, you know, from this point on to when I get home. And I'll see you in another video. Thanks for watching. Bye.